Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us this afternoon for this exciting announcement and historic moment for our community. I'm Bill Dingwall, the Mayor of Pitt Meadows. I acknowledge that we stand here on the traditional territory of the Katzie First Nation. I would first like to invite Elder Colleen Pierre and her son Francis Pierre to provide a welcome. Colleen, Francis?
Here we go again. I swear, Bill, you have to make me a footstool so I don't have to keep adjusting the mic. It's Swale, everyone. My name is Colleen Pierre, elder of the Katzie First Nation. My ancestral name is Tsilosawit, that originates from the Tawasan First Nation. I'm actually here and I'm truly honored to represent our respected chief, Grace George. She was unable to attend, so she actually forwarded a letter for me to read out on her behalf. Otherwise, I'm sending her regrets by not attending this historical event. Do you want to read it?
Yeah.
That is small. Good afternoon. I send my sincere regrets for not being able to attend this exciting announcement. I am not well and I am at home on bed rest. Thank you, Katzie First Nation Elder Colleen Pierre, myself, for your presence and welcome to our territory. I too wish to acknowledge that we are gathered upon the unceded, unsurrendered territory of the Katzie First Nation. I would also like to thank everyone for being here to witness this extraordinary event. Katzie First Nation has historically had service agreements in place, and we pay the City of Pitt Meadows for water, sewer, and fire services. Our staff work closely with the City of Pitt Meadows staff on issues such as diking, bylaws, cultural preservation, land restoration, and planning. Our nation has land that stretches across many communities, including Maple Ridge. However, our community living parcels are within Langley, Surrey, Barnston Island, and Pitt Meadows. Our council believes that an RCMP detachment in Pitt Meadows will be an enhancement. We have worked in partnership with the City of Pitt Meadows Council on this initiative over a few years and are happy to have this come to life. Thank you to Pitt Meadows Council for ensuring that our voice has been included in this process. We look forward to continuing our journey with our neighbors as we jointly support this transition and enhance community safety for all. Heichka, thank you all on behalf of Chief Grace George, Katzie First Nation. So I also want to close our part by inviting my son, Francis Pierre Tsilosawit, forward to share a traditional blessing by way of song. Do you want to say anything? Shy. Pretty sure they know. We don't need the mic. Oh, the traffic too. So if everybody's got caps, hats, if you could actually remove it out of respect, except for.
Thank you, Colin and Francis, for your warm welcome. And I'll be sure to bring a little podium that you can stand on, Colleen, the next time. It's my absolute pleasure to welcome everyone to this historic event for our city and for our community. We are here today to announce that the City of Pitt Meadows has been given approval by the province of British Columbia to establish our own autonomous RCMP detachment. This Pitt Meadows RCMP detachment will be tailored to meet the needs of our community of 20,000, where we remain Pitt Meadows proud. We, as a unanimous council, hold firm that this decision reflects our #1 priority for our community, and that an autonomous detachment in Pitt Meadows will significantly enhance public health and safety. It will build on trust and community confidence. It will improve service levels, provide faster response times, and enhanced visibility. It will also recognize local priorities and realize improved returns on our significant investments in policing. This de-integration is the first of its kind in British Columbia. It reflects the responsiveness of the RCMP and the province of British Columbia and demonstrates an appreciation for local government priorities related to public safety. Having our own detachment will see significantly higher numbers of local RCMP based in Pitt Meadows and directly serving and understanding our community and our needs, as well as the community getting to know our officers. The uniform complement will move from 2 officers per shift to 5, with all 9 of our NCOs working in Pitt Meadows as opposed to 2. 9 support staff will directly report to the city. With a local command structure and these synergies, there will be improved communication with city leadership, and we are happily continuing to participate in the Lower Mainland District Unit integrated teams such as Emergency Response Team, Integrated Collision Analysis Reconstruction Services, Integrated Forensic Identification Services, and hopefully we won't need them, but the Integrated Homicide Investigative Teams. And finally, the Integrated Police Dog Service. With respect to financial and operational aspects of this important decision, I will call upon our CAO and our principal policing contact, Mr. Mark Roberts.
So thank you, Mayor Dingwall, and I am Mark Roberts, the Chief Administrative Officer for the City of Pitt Meadows. As the Mayor said, my part is to speak around the finances related to the independent detachment, and so I will do that. With Council's authorization, that we've set aside $20 million in capital contribution, which has a contingency over the $18.3 million that the independent consultant had assessed earlier. So that's a contingency within a contingency, as the $18.3 million also has that as the normal construction process. It's important to note that we can achieve the independent detachment without a property tax increase for both the financing of the building and also for the operating budget of $6.0 million. And as the Mayor indicated, we are able to achieve this with a higher return on investment for a whole variety of reasons. And one of those reasons is that we pay currently Maple Ridge $300,000, partly for the annual replacement of their building that we do not own, and also $50,000 for the administration of the housing support agreement that we have with them currently. So really, right out of the gate, we're going to gain $300,000 of cash to redistribute to other purposes within the Pitt Meadows detachment. A second reason why there's higher return on investment is related to crime statistics. Earlier in the process, the consultant that we had hired to assess the merits of having an independent detachment assessed that the crime statistics for Pitt Meadows is much lower than our proportionate population between the 2 cities. So for example, the crime stats might be property crime, serious crime, or theft. All of those stats have a percentage somewhere in the teens, as low as 11%. When you compare the 11% to a 19% population ratio, we're able to benefit by the synergies of that differential and provide those services into Pitt Meadows. As well, the travel time that's currently occurring with our RCMP members between Pitt Meadows and Maple Ridge is 20 minutes each way, 40 minutes together. And when you consider all the different reasons why they go to Maple Ridge Detachment throughout the year, there's clearly a lot of benefit to elimination of the travel time and creating a higher return on investment. So to summarize, I would say that we have a state-of-the-art building funded by no property tax increase. We have also the higher return on investments, and all of that to provide us with a more superior service level in the community. So for me and for council, I know that's a win-win-win. And to close, I'd just like to say that the administration of staff, myself, are poised to get started, and we're very excited to be part of this legacy that this new detachment, independent detachment in Pitt Meadows, will provide to our community. So thank you.
Thank you, Mark. You may not be aware, but this site of the new detachment where we're standing is of historic significance, given it was the site of BC police operations dating back to 1914. James Lindsay Hutchinson was the name of the first pound keeper and police constable who was hired in Pitt Meadows. Our museum has been kind enough to share some of the historical artifacts and records showing the rich history of policing in Pitt Meadows. Due to their delicate nature, we were not able to have them displayed here in person, but we've created a board just to the left with some of the photos. At this point, I would like to recognize rights holders and stakeholders and other important people and entities in our community that have joined us here today for this special announcement. Some will be called upon to provide additional comments shortly. When I introduce you, please just give us a little wave. At this time, I'm pleased to recognize again Katzie First Nation Colleen Pierre and Francis Pierre. And Ian Cowan, I'm not sure if you made it. I know you were on a Zoom call, but you may not be here. Our Member of Parliament, Mark Dalton. Our MLA and Minister, Lisa Bear, is unfortunately tied up, and I know the legislature ended yesterday, and I believe she's still in Victoria. She clearly wanted to be part of this ceremony, and at this point I will say that she was a huge advocate for us as we move through the approval process. From our sister city, Mayor Mike Morton from Maple Ridge. From the RCMP, Assistant Commissioner Eric Stubbs wanted to be here. He's the #2 in British Columbia, and he's also responsible for a little mandate, which is all detachment policing in the province. And given the issues around flooding in British Columbia, he couldn't be here, but he did send a very, very kind email to us. We do have with us our district commander for the Lower Mainland, Assistant Commissioner Maureen Levy. We have Chief Superintendent Jeanette Tyson, the officer in charge of the RCMP E-Division Operational Strategy Branch, and she was a longtime member when she was way, way down in the rank structure here in the Ridge Meadows Detachment. We have our current superintendent, who's the officer in charge of Ridge Meadows Detachment, Superintendent Wendy Mehat. And we have both inspectors that are from the detachment. We have Jason Lukash, the operations officer, way at the back. And we have Adam Gander, operational support officer here at Ridge Meadows Detachment. In Red Surge, we proudly introduce Sergeant Michelle Luca, who's our NCO in charge of the Pitt Meadows Community Policing Office. We have Constable Jaspreet Gier, a brand new RCMP officer who completed her final boards yesterday. Today. Yesterday? And so big congratulations here. And interestingly enough, I was speaking with Inspector Adam Gander earlier on, and he reminded me that I was on his board many years ago. And we also have Constable Cameron Goodman here from the detachment on my right. So thank you for coming and looking so wonderful in red serge. Trevor Dinwoody, the board director with the RCMP National Police Federation, the union for the RCMP across Canada, was intending to be here and let us know not too long ago that he actually had a slight injury and he can't be with us. And again, he passes along his best regards on behalf of the union. We do have our chief from the Pitt Meadows Fire and Rescue Services, Mike Larson, and Deputy Dave Biggin here today with us. And they make up part of that first responder umbrella that is so important for the city and for our community. We have from the school district 42, we have trustee and board chair, Corleen Carreras at the back. And we also have Katie Sutherland, who is our other trustee. So again, ladies, thank you for coming today. And I know policing and school district have long had many links together. So thank you. From the Chamber of Commerce, we have Executive Director Mark Vosper. So Mark, again, thank you for coming. And we also have Dan Kasicki here that's here today. He's a prominent member of our Agriculture Advisory Committee and a longtime resident. And as he will say, this is his town. And I know here in Pitt Meadows, 85% of our land base is part of the Agricultural Land Reserve. Last but not least, I want to introduce our city councilors. We have Nicole McDonald, we have Bob Meechan, Tracy Miashta, Gwen O'Connell, Mike Hayes, and Nina Simpson sends her regrets for today. You've already met our CAO, Mark Roberts, and also here today is our Director of Engineering, Samantha Mackey, and our Director of Finance, both who have been heavily involved in the business plan preparation and discussions for the city. We also have, I think, all of our directors from the city that are here today, along with a lot of our staff. I also want to take this opportunity to thank all of our staff, including our directors, who did contribute to this 2.5-year initiative, and as well for putting together on very short notice this important announcement. At the end of the presentation, there will be opening up for any questions from the media. I will now call upon Councillor Nicole McDonald, Councillor Representative on the Joint Maple Ridge Pitt Meadows Police Liaison Committee, to provide a few comments about our journey that led us here today. Nicole, while being a prominent notary in Pitt Meadows, is also a proud past member of the Vancouver Police Department. Nicole.
Thank you, Mayor Dingwall. In June 2019, the City of Pitt Meadows embarked on a review of the Integrated Ridge Meadows RCMP Detachment. The review included reports from a variety of independent consultants that explored the existing RCMP structure and operations, with the goal of enhancing service levels, police response times, return on investment, the focus on local priorities, and to bolster our community confidence regarding public safety. The City has engaged in discussions with all rights holders and stakeholders, including the Katzie First Nation, MP Mark Dalton, MLA Lisa Bear, and the Province of British Columbia, the RCMP, and the National Police Federation. Discussions have been collegial and supportive, with all sharing the common goal of enhancing public safety. The City has undertaken extensive community consultation that included an online survey, engagement and priority committee meetings, and special council meetings. In addition, the City conducted an alternative approval process that resulted in only 1.4% of community opposed to the removal of an approximately 10-meter parcel of parkland, allowing the new detachment in this location. On November 16th, 2021, Minister Mike Farnworth, the Minister of Public Safety and Solicitor General, along with being the Deputy Premier, provided his approval for the creation of an autonomous Pitt Meadows detachment. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor MacDonald. At this time, I will ask a number of people to come forward and say a few words. As I mentioned, this was a decision by the province, and Lisa Bear would have loved to have been here. She did provide some comments, and at this stage, I'd ask our Director of Parks, Rec, and Culture, of which the art gallery behind us falls under her portfolio, as do the fields behind, Diane Chamberlain, to say words on behalf of Lisa Bear. Diane.
Thank you. On behalf of Lisa Bear, she would like to express her great gratitude for this day, and she says this is great news after so much collaboration between people in the community and local leaders. Public safety is a top priority of our government, and this new detachment will ensure that people in Pitt Meadows will have even faster response times with more new officers and staff who understand the specific needs of this community. On behalf of Lisa Bear, we thank you.
Next up, I would call upon our Member of Parliament, Mark Dalton. Mark?
Thank you, Bill, and it's a tremendous privilege to be here today, and my apologies for arriving a few minutes late. I came directly from Ottawa in the midst of the greeting, and just thank you for welcoming us in song. And so, welcome everybody, and I just want to acknowledge the councillors, Mayor Dingwall, Mayor Morden, and all the surge of people, all the first responders. And it is, I just want to recognize the efforts that you have made, even over the past 20 months during COVID. And right now, as we have been going through this emergency situation in British Columbia, I mean, more than ever, we're just aware how we need to be ready, we need to be prepared. We had an emergency debate in Ottawa until midnight a couple of nights ago, and speaking about this, you never know when the emergencies are going to happen, and just to be prepared. And I think having the detachment here in Pitt Meadows, your own police force here, is just great, and you can provide those services. I took a hiatus for a couple of years between being MLA and MP. I was teaching at Pitt Meadows Secondary School, and there was a situation that everybody had to stay in the school at the time because there was something happening on the outside, and I know the police officers were all there, and that's so important. You don't know when something can happen, and I think it's great that you're keeping tax base at no increase. I commend you on that. And I was looking at the crime statistics with compared to the rest of British Columbia. It was saying 6,000 per 100,000 people, or it was quite a bit, about half of what it is in BC, but about the national average. And so, but there's still some areas that are growing. And so I think having your own police force here, responding is just tremendous. So it is. Just know that this has been something that has been important for council, for many people in Pitt Meadows for a long time, wanting peace of mind of having police resources right at home. And as our communities, and as this community continues to grow, so does the need for emergency services infrastructure. So with the establishment of this new detachment, we continue here in Pitt Meadows to improve public safety and to provide better quality of life for the people of Pitt Meadows. So I congratulate you and salute you. Thank you very much.
And next up is Mayor Mike Morden from the City of Maple Ridge. And I will say that we have a great relationship, and we're connected in so many ways as a sister community. And it is my pleasure to ask Mike to come up and comment. Throughout this study, I know he was supportive and he worked with us, and I've got a lot of time for Mike Morden. Mike?
Thanks for your kind words, Bill. Let's talk about building a great community. Pitt Meadows, my wonderful neighbors, friends at Katzie First Nation as well, school district. It's all about relationships and building good community, and we do that together. But Pitt Meadows is a unique community. I have spent many Pitt Meadows days here, and there's only one of those. And so that's the kind of thing, as Mr. Kasika will tell you, there are certain things that make a community special unto itself. And you also need a public safety model that's going to go in accord with that. Our council fully supported Pitt Meadows' desire to have a unique detachment that will suit the purposes of the citizens of Pitt Meadows to keep them safe. In Maple Ridge, we felt exactly the same, and we've also pursued our own model of policing as well. And so for that, I want to give thanks to everybody at E Division, the amazing leadership we have currently in our detachment as well. It was a journey to get here, and I'm really happy with the direction, and Pitt Meadows will also be very happy with what the future of policing will look like for you as well. So we're here to support Pitt Meadows in their journey to a safe community and having an appropriate model for policing there. So thanks to great neighbors, Pitt Meadows, thanks for inviting us, and also thanks to everybody else that came here and given a chance to say a few words. And just a note to the chief as well, if I may, wish her well. I know that she's working to get well soon, so my best wishes. Thank you.
Okay, next up, we have Assistant Commissioner Maureen Levy from the RCMP. Maureen?
Thank you so much. I'm a little bit short too. I know it's a shocker. Good afternoon, Mayor Dingwall, Mayor Morden, dignitaries in attendance, and distinguished guests, Katzie First Nations. The BC RCMP is pleased to work with the City of Pitt Meadows to enhance police service to the community with the establishment of a standalone detachment. Currently, Pitt Meadows is served by the Ridge Meadows RCMP Detachment along with the City of Maple Ridge. The Police Act provides for municipalities to choose a service delivery model for policing their communities. In this case, Pitt Meadows requested the province of BC to approve the addition of a standalone autonomous detachment for their community. The province has given its approval, and the BC RCMP is looking forward to accommodating this request. We are proud to be able to continue to provide the excellent police service our members do day in and day out in these communities. The deintegration project is expected to take some time to complete. However, the BC RCMP is committed to working diligently with the City of Pitt Meadows and Maple Ridge to ensure a smooth process occurs throughout. As always, our top priority is to maintain public safety in the communities we serve, and we will endeavor to do that as this project gets underway. Let me see. Sorry. The process will be followed. That's all that I have, and I will take any questions at the end if required. And a real milestone for the City of Pitt Meadows. So thank you very much, and it is an honor for me to be here today. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you, Assistant Commissioner Levy. Next up, and I said a few words at the opening about Chief Superintendent Jeanette Tyson. Jeanette, welcome, and please come forward.
Good afternoon, everybody. What an honor and a privilege to be asked to speak today, and I recognize everybody is extremely busy in their day, but this is an important day. For me, it's important for a wide variety of reasons. I came out of Regina in 1996 and served my first 7 years at the Ridge Meadows Detachment, policing in Maple Ridge and Pitt Meadows. I enjoyed it so much that I came back in 2007 as a corporal in the crime reduction unit. I'm very blessed, and I look at your city council, and I was on the community policing committee with a few. So when I look around and I share a smile, it's because my time here was amazing. I understand both communities. But it's also important for you to know that I am a resident of Pitt Meadows. I lived here for 21 years. My daughter has been to elementary and high school here, and I value this community. As we look at policing, and policing takes its journey, and I look at my journey as becoming a chief superintendent in charge of operations strategy branch, I was given the task to lead a team of academics and experts to assist Pitt Meadows and Maple Ridge to come up with the best solution for both cities. I didn't do it alone, and I can't thank everybody enough from the Ridge Meadows Detachment senior management, but also E Division senior management team. A lot of support, and I'm just grateful that it's come to fruition. As the mayor said, it's the first of its kind, and it did take some time. But I can assure you, as being the leader of that group that did the consultations with the communities and with the Katzie First Nations, we had to get it right. And just very pleased that it's come out. And here we are today to celebrate a new Pitt Meadows RCMP detachment. Thank you very much.
Now, before I call up our officer in charge, we're almost there. We're almost at the ribbon cutting. I too want to echo Mayor Morden's comments. We have an excellent leadership team here at Ridge Meadows Detachment. Superintendent Mehat is in charge. I've introduced her two inspectors, and I think the detachment is in great shape from a leadership perspective. And again, with Superintendent Mehat and Inspector Ken Fortin, who are involved in the transition committee, the collaboration there and the advice and the support and the respect and the professionalism was just frankly outstanding. So, Superintendent Mehat.
Thank you very much, Mayor Dingwall, for the kind words. And thank you, everybody, for welcoming us today. Good afternoon. This is a very important day for the City of Pitt Meadows and its residents. My role right now is the officer in charge of the Ridge Meadows Detachment, which is currently an integrated detachment. During all parts of the process to deintegrate is to ensure strong public safety continues and remains in both the City of Maple Ridge, the City of Pitt Meadows, and also for the Katzie First Nations. Also, public safety remains my top priority, and I think this is very new time for all of us, and myself and my senior leadership team who is here today. All of us will really take on the challenge and embarking on building two very strong autonomous RCMP detachments with a goal and a focus on being very highly visible, but also having a very strong community policing model, because community is very important to us. So I very much look forward to this process, working with everybody, working with our own employees at the detachment to build these two autonomous detachments, but also working with the National Police Federation, also working with multiple teams within the RCMP E-Division's headquarters, Assistant Commissioner Levy, also Chief Superintendent Dyson, and also the cities of Maple Ridge and Pitt Meadows, and both of our mayors, Mayor Morden, Mayor Dingwall, and councils. Thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to new times and exciting times. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Superintendent. Pitt Meadows Council continues to unanimously support the RCMP and recognize the challenging mandate that you have in keeping us all safe. Also, on behalf of Council, I wish to truly thank the City of Maple Ridge, Katzie First Nation, the province, the federal government, Mark Dalton, and the RCMP. And last, but most importantly, our community for your support and your confidence. At this point, we're at the ribbon cutting, so there's not a lot of room. I will ask Pitt Meadows Council to come forward. Our CAO, Mark Roberts, Miss Mackey and Miss Harding, if you could come up as well as Colleen Pierre. And Francis where's Francis? He can come up as well. And MP Dalton, and we'll cut the ribbon. So if we can just move forward.